Very good evening. You're watching Free Press Journal. I'm Afrida Rahman Ali. We are going to take up this issue of a statement that has been made by the Chief Minister of Assam, Himanta Biswa Sarma, who has announced a legislative package that seeks to ban polygamy, curb so-called love jihad, and also, in a way, align lawmaking with Assam's long-standing anxieties over migration, religion, and belonging. So that seems to be the stated objective. But is this again, in a way, playing the identity politics card, something that has been the mainstay of Himanta Biswa Sarma's politics? I am joined by Abdur Razzak Bhuyan, who's an advocate of the Gauhati High Court this evening. Thank you, Mr. Bhuyan. Thank you and good evening. Great to have
Thank
you on
you,
the show.
thank you, and good evening to you also.
First of all, let me apprise our viewers with what Himanta Biswa Sarma has decided for the next session of Assembly, Assam Legislative Assembly. I'm going to play out this soundbite. Let the viewers first familiarize themselves with the issue at hand.
আমাৰ অসম বিধানসভাত লাভ জেহাদৰ বিৰুদ্ধে বহু বিবাহৰ বিৰুদ্ধে সত্ৰৰ সংৰক্ষণ বহুবিলাক খুব ঐতিহাসিক আইন আমাৰ সদনলৈ আহিব আৰু আমি সদনত আলোচনাৰ জৰিয়তে চাহ বাগিচাৰ শ্ৰমিকক ভূমিৰ অধিকাৰ দিয়া বহুবিলাক এই বিধানসভাত ঐতিহাসিক বিল আহিব আৰু মই ভাবোঁ যে লাহে লাহে কেবিনেটত যেতিয়া এপ্ৰুভ হৈ গৈ থাকিব আমি আপোনালোকক জনাব পাৰিম
Few important bills included Satra Commission will be introduced in the upcoming assembly session.
এইবাৰ আমাৰ অসম বিধানসভাত লাভ জেহাদৰ বিৰুদ্ধে বহু বিবাহৰ বিৰুদ্ধে সত্ৰৰ সংৰক্ষণ বহুবিলাক খুব ঐতিহাসিক আইন আমাৰ সদন
So, Oitihakik Ain is what the Chief Minister is saying. I want you to explain to us, Mr. Puya, what this means. What is this? What is this historic bill that the Chief Minister is talking about, and why now?
Good evening, ma'am Frida. Still we the Assamese people are mourning because of the demise of our heartthrob, the legendary singer Jubin Garg. So before starting that, I would like to pay tribute to the legendary singer Jubin Garg. And actually, still our mind is not in order to hear all these things and all these bites, but it is coming from the mouth of our honorable constitutional head and the guardian of the state, Mr. Himanta Biswa Sarma. I have also seen these bites in the media channels regarding the issue of laying down few bills before the forthcoming session of the Legislative Assembly. That regarding prohibition of polygamy, he says that Bahu Biba, if we translate in English, it will come down as polygamy, banning of polygamy. And he again used the term love jihad. Now, I as a student of law, I find it difficult to find a definition from the constitution or any other statutory books. It has not been defined that what actually or exactly means the word love jihad. So I have not find anywhere. But even then, if we go by the provisions, and we can say that this is a socio-political affairs, the love
Mhm.
jihad word is used. So I will come to one by one. So my presumption, because see, until and unless the bill is laid before the assembly, and if we do not go through the black and white of the text, exactly what does it mean and what is proposed to be done, it is very difficult to explain. But from his bite, it is very clear that his intention is very clear, that he want banning of polygamy. And love jihad means as we understand from the statutes of the other state in Uttar Pradesh and Maharashtra, there are two bills has already been legislated and two laws has already been enacted, that forceful conversion or by imposter yourself not belonging to a particular religion and entered into a love to a girl or a boy, and later on you did not later on you convert herself forcefully to your own religion, so that is
So
they
let
are
me make it
terming.
very clear, Mr. Bhuya, since
Okay.
the word
Okay.
jihad is there, since the
Okay.
word jihad is there, it is going to be something against a non-Muslim marrying a Muslim, because
Correct,
jihad,
correct.
the term is used to identify with or to relate to one party which would have to be Muslim and the other non-Muslim, and the government is going to intervene in any such quote unquote forceful marriages, which is why it is
Forceful
saying
marriage. Correct, correct,
love jihad. But
correct, correct.
how do you think adults decide to marry outside their religion? Can there be forceful marriages, or is that just a smokescreen to ban all such marriages? That is the big question. So just
No,
simply
you see, yeah, yeah,
that,
yeah.
just
You have raised a very important legal issue.
hmm,
Now you see, the constitution is very clear. The
hmm,
if we go by the provisions of Article 14, and then we can relate with Article 21 and 25 of the Constitution also, wherein it has
hmm,
been said that you have a right to life, and that right to life also includes the right to choose your own partner,
hmm,
irrespective of religion, caste, and creed. So
hmm,
that power gives you from the very root of the Constitution, that is the fundamental rights we
hmm,
citizen carries from our birth. Now
hmm,
the issue is that if I being a Muslim, and the if the girl being a Hindu knows me that I am a Muslim, and knowing that she voluntarily, without any force or coercion, she wanted to enter marital, she wanted to continue a marital relationship with me by
hmm,
converting or by maintaining her own religion also. Under the
hmm,
Special
hmm,
Marriage Act, this can also be done. So
hmm,
therefore, I don't think there can be any offense. Now, if somebody, if I being a Muslim, I being an Abdur Razzak, being a Muslim, and if I myself impostor myself as a Hindu by saying that Achyut Ranjan Sarma like this, impostering before a girl of a Hindu religion, and later on, after marriage, if she comes to know that I am a Muslim, and then trying to forcefully convert her, then that will be an offense of fraudulent activities or something like that. That is not permissible
hmm.
under the any law. Now, therefore,
Okay.
the terminology they are using, the word dragging the word jihad, I think this is also an offensive word. You cannot
Hmm,
use the word jihad in a negative sense, because the very root of the word jihad evolves from the Quran, Holy Quran.
hmm,
So
hmm,
if you use the word in a very negative sense or in a
hmm,
negative manner, obviously it will hurt the religious sentiment of the particular people of the faith of Islam, who is believing the Quran as their holy book and the foundation of their religion. So now you are
hmm,
using this word in a negative sense, that love jihad. Before delivering the word jihad, you should be careful, because you have picked this word from the Holy Quran, and you cannot use this word as per your own will. So once you are hurting our religious or a particular community's sentiment, I think it is
hmm.
dangerous. There is a panel
But
provision
let me
under
tell
the.
you,
Yes, yes.
having said that, if you look at data, and as a journalist, I believe that we should look at where this is coming from. The reality is, Mr. Puya, that the average, if you speak to Muslim women, okay, we tackle the love jihad issue. We are now coming to the polygamy issue. If you look at the
Okay.
figures, the Muslim women in Assam have reported, a higher number of Muslim women in Assam have reported that their husbands have more than one wife. It's 3.6% for Assam. The
Hmm.
all India figure is 1.9%. So clearly in
Okay.
Assam, there is a bigger problem of multiple wives in the Muslim community. How do you look at that? So now the CM says we'll bring in a bill. Basically, he wants to bring in a law to make it a punishable offense, right? To have multiple wives. To what
Correct.
extent
Correct.
will that be possible?
That is also a very serious legal as well as the religious issue. Now, the if the any such law is made, I think they are
Hmm.
going to touch the very basic of the Islamic religion. They are now going to touch the Holy Quran. I think you are well aware about the chapter 4, verse 3, that is the Surah An-Nisa.
Hmm.
Surah An-Nisa is a Quranic, you can say Quranic surah, wherein it has been clearly says that, as a small part of that surah I would like to read over, that says that, and if
Oh, I think we lost the connection there. Okay, I'm trying to reconnect with Mr. Bhuyan, but in the meantime, what is important here is to understand that the data does not lie, and the data does indicate that there is an issue of polygamy in Assam, which is higher in number than the rest of the country. Has that been taken as a basis for the Chief Minister of Assam to bring in bills now to curb polygamy, to curb what he calls Love Jihad? Basically means wants to curb the practice of
So
inter-religious marriages.
yes,
Yes,
yes.
please carry on. We
Yes,
lost
yes,
you
yes.
in between.
Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah, yeah. Sorry for the disconnection, ma'am. So
yeah.
now if we analyze or research that where from a Muslim man is empowered to marry one, two, three, and four. The Holy Quran, the Surah An Nisa is very clear that wherein it has been says that a small part I would like to read over. And if you fear that you will not deal justly with the orphan girls, then marry those that please you of other women, two or three or four. But if you fear that you will not be just, then marry only one or those your right hand possesses. This is more appropriate so that you will not incline to injustice. The,
Yeah,
the,
but you know
the,
what, Mr. Bhuya, none of this will apply if your one nation, one law comes in, if your uniform civil code comes in.
no, you
Right
see,
now,
yes,
you
yes,
are
yes, yes,
quoting
yes.
religious personal law. You are
No,
quoting
no,
religious
yes,
personal
yes,
law,
yes.
which this country still allows. What if the
No,
government decides to do away with all of this? Then what will you
no,
do?
no. Government
There is
can
already a
do,
discussion of uniform civil code.
ma'am, the Uniform Civil Code, government has the ample power to go for the Uniform Civil Code under Article 44 of the Constitution of India.
Yes,
It is empowered.
yes.
It is not mandatory. It is not directory in nature. It is directory in nature. Government can or cannot also. So therefore, before making a uniform civil law, I think you are
Hmm,
well aware about the Sharia Application Act of 1937. The Sharia
hmm,
Application Act of 1937 is a law made prior to the independence of the country, wherein this is a
hmm,
parliamentary law, and the subject under Section 2 of the 1937 Act, the what categories of subjects can be governed by the personal law is very clear and specific, wherein
hmm,
Section 2 says that the marriage and other issues like this, the
hmm,
marriage, now we are discussing about the polygamous marriage, so therefore the section 2
hmm,
also covered this polygamous marriage, and which says the section 2 says that the marriage and its issues will be governed by the Muslim personal law, not by the other
I
law.
think there's an
So
audio
therefore
disturbance. Hmm.
yes, yes, am I audible, ma'am? Hello?
Now, there's a bit of an audio disturbance at your end. No, please continue.
Yeah, yeah, is
I
it
think
okay now?
huh.
Is it okay now? Okay. Now my contention is very clear that until and unless this Muslim Personal Law or the Sharia Application Act 1937 is amended,
I
modified
think we'll have to
by
reconnect. Your audio is not clear. Could you please reconnect? Meanwhile, I'll recap for my audience uh, things that you're saying so far. So, what Advocate Bhuya is telling us is that as of now, the law of this land allows practice of religious personal law, and until and unless you first change that, which again has to be a central act, one cannot get down to banning certain provisions which the Constitution has guaranteed. Carry on, Mr. Bhuya. I
yeah,
lost you in
yeah, yeah.
between. Pick up
Okay,
from where you
now,
left. Yeah.
now my contention is that so once there is a law of 1937 is governing, that is the Muslim Personal Law Sharia Application Act of 1937 is a central legislation enacted by the Parliament. Now
Mhm.
you see, ma'am, without amending the law of Parliament of 1937, wherein the law would like to specifically provide power to the state that you go for your own law, or like this banning polygamy, or the you can make law relating to the subject of marriage, that power is required to be get in from the 1937 amendment or the constitutional prescription. I know you also well aware about the law of repugnancy, this subject
So you're saying
concurrently.
the state cannot do it. It has to be the
No, no,
central government
state can,
under the
state
purview.
can, State can do it, but until and
Mm.
unless that law, the state law is required to be signed by the President of India under the Article
Mm.
254, that is the law of repugnancy will come. If that law is made by the only by the state assembly with the signature of the governor, then this law will be held to be ultra virus. Now the very
That's what I'm
basic
saying,
issue.
which means that it's not within the jurisdiction of any particular state government to do
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
Until and unless this 1937 Act is amended, modified to that extent that
Which
the
can only
state
be done by parliament, right?
Parliament can make a
Hmm.
law, a uniform law, like the Uniform Civil Code, codifying a particular law banning
Hmm.
polygamous marriage in the entire country. They can go for. But even then, if that law is made, that should not touch or that should not intervene with the fundamental rights like Article 21 as well as Article 25, that the religious freedom. Now,
We
whether
have to
this
reconnect. We have to reconnect with you. Your audio is not clear to me as of now. I think we got the gist of what Mr. Bhuya is telling us, that it becomes simply rhetoric if things are not done in a certain process. If at all the government of Assam intends to bring in this law, this bill, it has to first go back to the original law that exists, that permits, that provides for the citizens of this country to practice religion in a certain way. So unless those changes are first made, to put the cart before the horse and say, okay, now we are going to ban multiple marriages by an act of law, what you heard from the legal expert is that that authority is not available with the state government entirely. Am I right, Mr. Bhuya,
yes,
that the
yes, yes, ma'am,
chief
you are
minister and the
absolutely right.
governor does not have the authority at this point to say that we will bring in this law and henceforth multiple marriages will be a punishable offense? That particular authority is not guaranteed under the constitution to a state government. There are certain
Correct,
amendments which
correct.
will have to precede before you come to this.
Exactly, ma'am. It exactly because you see now the issue of this banning of polygamous marriage. The I don't think that the any such law has been made by any state assembly in any part of the country till date. I have not heard about. Or if I go through,
But love jihad, let's face it, other states have brought
no,
in
no, love,
anti-conversion
yeah, yeah,
law.
love jihad.
Whether they call
I
it love jihad law, I don't know, but there is an anti-conversion law in Maharashtra. It exists
anti-conversion
where
law,
I stay.
anti-conversion law. Now that
Forceful
anti-conversion.
conversion. Hmm.
Yes, yes. Forceful anti-conversion law is there in Uttar Pradesh, in Maharashtra, in some other parts of the country
So
also. That
that
is
that your chief minister can easily bring in. There is no
not
hurdle
that
there.
my that our honorable chief minister, not he cannot. The state assembly
Hmm.
can only bring it.
Yeah,
Only
assembly can bring
yes,
in.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So
Assembly
that
can bring
that
in.
road is clear for him since the others
Yes,
have
yes.
done it before.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Now, but while he doing so, he also cannot target a particular religion. It will violate Article 14 also. That
Hmm.
anti-conversion law should also be secular, ma'am. Why I am
Yeah.
telling you? Because a Hindu cannot portray himself as a Muslim and can marry a Muslim girl. That provision should also be there in the coming
Apply both
forthcoming
ways.
law. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
vice
But
versa,
you
both
see, when
ways.
it comes to implementation, when it comes to enforcement, again, it comes
Correct.
down to the officer on duty, right? So, I mean, there is always a chance of misuse. But I'm not going into
Oh,
that. I'm just saying
exactly.
that
We cannot. Yeah,
there
yeah.
could be a targeting of a specific targeting of a
Particular
particular
part, yes, yes.
community that cannot be ruled out, is what I'm trying to
That is
say.
correct.
Uh, yeah, but at this point, what's your biggest concern here? Like legally, you are saying this cannot survive. If you can't put the cart before the horse.
No,
You've
ma'am,
got to follow a
I
certain
am
procedure.
no straight away. It is very difficult to give a legal opinion that exactly what will be the preamble, what will be the
Okay.
object of the act. Those preamble, those objects
Hmm.
is required to be read over, is required to be understood, is required to be interpreted. That whether
Yeah.
this is for a social justice, this is for the
Hmm.
betterment of a
Hmm.
particular community or not, or
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
legislation has been made with an oblique motive. Then if
Hmm.
after making the research of those bills or those enactment, then only we can put into test those
Hmm.
legislations before a constitutional court, before our high court, as well as before the Supreme Court also, we can move in later on also. So exactly at this moment, I know that these two bills are very is coming, because you see, though I am not a political man, but the elections are also forthcoming. So before the elections, last time also a few legislations were also made. These madrasa, you know that in our state there is a madrasa system was there, that was also been repealed and revoked. Now all those madrasas has been converted into schools. Just before the last assembly elections, it had been done, targeting a particular community. It is now almost from the repealing act 2020, now it is 25. So 5 years tenure is already over. Now that issue is also pending before the Honorable Supreme Court, that the conversion of those madrasas into schools are also pending before the Supreme Court for final adjudication. And now the elections are also forthcoming. So I think before the elections also these two bill is definitely going to be legislated, and I know as the ruling party is in the majority, it will be passed out also. There will be
So
no
it is
barrier for
going to
that.
create a narrative. But
Go,
please
yeah.
sum it up for us again on both these counts, the points that you made. First, about the issue of banning multiple marriages. You are saying that as long as it is within the Sharia law, which is permitted, there cannot be a law that suddenly prohibits a section of the citizenry from practicing it. Is that what you said about polygamy? Can you just repeat that portion?
Ma'am, my interpretation and my opinion is very clear. Before
Hmm,
making the law of polygamy,
hmm,
if you can do, you have to
hmm.
amend the Holy Quran, Surah Nisa. If you can, if you have the courage, then you have to
No, no. Why do we
amend.
go to that? Why are we not talking about
No,
the Uniform Civil Code?
no,
Why are
no,
we
no,
not
no.
talking about the
Uniform,
fact
ma'am,
that
ma'am.
this? Hmm.
Let me
They don't
clarify
have to
that
amend
the
the Quran. They just have to bring in the Uniform Civil Code,
no,
and
then
none of
then it
all of
will
this will be
then
redundant.
yes, they can bring in, any law, ma'am. The you know
Hmm.
that the many laws has been strike out, many laws has been set aside by the honorable high courts or the honorable supreme courts. Why and under what power? When any law made by the parliament or the state legislatures which is make in contravention with the constitutional provisions, then those are called ultra virus. So if you
Hmm.
make a law without amending it, particularly the sources, then it will obviously override those constitutional provisions. And once those constitutional provisions are being are attempted to be override or interfered with, then obviously it will be an ultra virus statutes, and it will not survive the very test of the judicial scrutiny.
Right. And
So
about
therefore,
carry on.
my very from being a student of law and from a very limited knowledge, what I am telling you that, ma'am, the government has the full power to make a law regarding banning polygamy. Now, whether the marriages of the Islam or the if some person has a two, three, or up to four wives, can you term them as a polygamy? But in the Holy Quran, there is no word has been used as a polygamous marriage. Every marriage has its own identity, single identity, because Quran says that you have to treat your every wife at par if you have the
No, no, that
capacity.
is your limited religious law. I agree with
Correct,
you, but that is
correct,
within the religious purview. If the
correct.
government of the day decides that there will be no separate practice or religious practices pertaining to marriage, inheritance, and certain things which will be common for all citizens, then none of this will apply. Then you may have anything stated in the Quran, that does not matter. You live in this country, you follow a uniform civil code. So
No,
I am
ma'am.
saying
In
that
yes, yes, yes. I know.
if at all, the state government intends to make these changes, it has to depend on the center, on the parliament to first bring in the UCC, is what I'm saying.
Correct.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Correct, correct, correct. No, no. You see, ma'am, when the constitution
Hmm.
gives power, three subjects are there. You know, that is the state list, union list, and the concurrent list. When a subject is governed by the concurrent list, then the both union and the state has the power to make laws. But
Mhm.
when there is already a law, that is the Sharia Application Act of 1937 or the Muslim Personal Law is governing a particular subject or a field, then
Mhm.
when the state is going to make a law, if that law is in conflict with the central law, then central law will survive. That is the very basic common sense. I think the
Okay,
state is
okay.
also
Hmm.
that is the state is also is well versed with this provision also, because they are
Hmm.
also
Hmm.
equipped
Hmm.
with
And
battery
your
of
chief
very learned
minister is a
lawyers.
lawyer himself. Yes, I mean,
No,
Mr. Himanta
yes,
Biswa
yes,
Sarma is
yes,
a
yes.
lawyer himself.
He
Says
correct, correct.
every
So he
chance
is
that he's fully aware of this, of the
no,
provisions that you and me are talking about.
yeah, yeah. I being a citizen of the Assam and citizen of this country is also a big fan of him, because the manner in which he works, the dressing attitude of our honorable chief
Hmm.
minister, I am also a big fan of him. But sometimes
Hmm.
that political ideology overrides the personal ideology also. So now, as
Hmm.
he is espousing the cause of a particular political party, I think he is required to compromise with his personal ideology sometime for the betterment of his party. But as a person, I always respect him, but we may differ in ideologies. So when laws are made, we always put those laws into challenges before the High Court or before the any other competent forum. So if the laws are
You
coming
will be
like that,
willing to argue on this, Mr. Bhuya, if you are required to. Will you be willing to appear on this matter if it is challenged in court and take up
yes,
the
yes, yes,
state
yes, yes,
government?
ma'am. Because already peoples are in touch with us, with our fraternity, and as I am leading in some cases like the madrasa issue, like now this land selling provision has also been made that a Hindu cannot sell land to a Muslim. Certain strict regulation has been made. An office memorandum has been recently published. That is also is going to be challenged. So lots of issues are there. So we are
Okay.
also challenging that pushback policy of the state of Assam, that pushback
Mm-hmm.
pushing people to the other part of the border. Those PILs are also banning the arms
Right.
license provision. The I'm telling you that the government has decided to give arms to the indigenous people residing in a particular area. That policy is also under challenge. The eviction which has been carried out in a large scale in the entire state, that is also under challenge. So all
So
these things
your
are
plate
being
is full. There are a lot of matters that you have to fight for the right
yes,
causes.
yes, yes. Because our
Okay.
honorable chief minister make us busy, ma'am.
You are
That
busy.
is
Thank
this.
you so much for
Yes, yes.
joining us, Mr.
Thank you,
Bhuya. Have
thank
a
you.
pleasant
And
evening.
I am
Really
also
appreciate
grateful
your
for
time.
giving. Yes, yes. I am also grateful to you for giving me this opportunity, ma'am. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. Well, that's it for now. Do continue to watch Free Press Journal on YouTube and do like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more topics like this. Thanks for watching.